Hi, my name is Doug Firebaugh, and I'd like to welcome you to this Passion Fire Secrets Series CD, which is part of the targeted training program of Passion Fire International. We designed the targeted training program for one purpose: to target specifically what you need to learn and do it in bite-sized chunks to where you can learn them easily. The content on the CD is fresh, unique, and different. We encourage you to learn each track and integrate it into your business, not only to take your actions to a higher level, but also your thinking to a higher level in your life. We hope that the information will help you build a great business and also be a blessing in your life. Hey, it's Doug Firebaugh, and welcome to the Secrets of Approaching Business Professionals and Business Owners. You know, one of the things that I discovered after a long time in this industry is that they are actually a gold mine, because most people are afraid to approach business owners and business professionals. Why? Well, many reasons, but I think one of the greatest reasons, they just don't think they would be interested. Man, I thought the same thing, but did I find out I was wrong? Because many business professionals, and particularly small business owners, are very open to a new revenue source, new profits, a new source of income. And this is what we found to be true, because, well, we had over 450 business owners in our organization alone, just because we focused in on creating that type of language, that type of impact on business owners with network marketing. You may ask yourself, well, why in the world would a business owner want to talk to me? Well, there's many reasons, and I'm sure that you know people right now that probably own a business. You know people right now that probably have some format of a successful business, and business owners all have one thing in common: they have networks. That's one of the single greatest reasons why that you want to approach a business owner: their network. Most of them have local associations they belong to. Most of them have statewide associations, and most of them are members of national and international associations. And that network alone is worth a fortune. Now, it's true, many different people have tried to approach business owners, but in a very wrong way. And I'm not saying that they did anything wrong, but I'm saying that they probably could do it better. Because when I say they did it in a wrong way, it was in a way that turned the business owner off. I've talked literally to thousands of professional business owners and professionals who are in marketing and sales, insurance, stock market, and all of them say the same thing. They say, you know, it's funny, but they all approach me wanting something from me. They really weren't concerned about what was best for my career. They really weren't concerned about, what was best for my family. They wanted something that they could gain from my knowledge, from my network, and from my expertise. Well, what if you turned it around? And what if you totally started focusing in on bringing something special, profitable, as well as energizing to the business? Well, what would happen? It would turn the business owner around. One of the business owners I was very blessed to work with, her name was Sally, and she had I think 7 salons, very successful out in Colorado. And the only thing we did is we did something that probably you've never even heard of, maybe not, I don't know, but we simply talked their language. And that's what this CD is all about: learning the language of what to say to business owners, how to approach them, the phrases, the concepts, the power tips, all those things that can help you not only attract them into your business, but also get them on your side as a possible referral source or a center of influence. I had hundreds of businesses that sent us, in our organization, that sent us many, many, many clients. And the reason for that is because they simply liked our products. And see, it's the same thing with you. They might like your products. So what you're going to have to ask yourself, is it worth the time to go and talk to some people that I know that own businesses, and maybe use some different language versus network marketing ease, or MLMEs, if you will, but utilizing some strong power phrases that would get their attention? You bet it is. Because 2 of the single largest legs I had, and we have some large legs, but 2 of the single largest legs I had were simply business owners who decided they wanted to make their business more profitable. And that's what we're talking about. The only reason why that you would approach a business owner or business professional is to show them how to make their career or how to make their business more profitable. It has nothing to do with what you get out of it. It has everything to do with what the business owner can get out of it. And with that focus, that's one of the single greatest secrets. You need to focus in on showing them how that you can increase their profits, increase the bottom line, and also help them take contacts that are currently not producing anything as far as revenues in their life and show them how that they can turn it into an extremely lucrative revenue source. You do that to a business owner, it'll shock them, because I'm speaking from experience here. And what we're going to do on this CD is we're going to go through about 15, 17, 18 different ways to approach professional business owners that will literally get their attention, and they will talk with you. Why? Because I've used them all, and all of them work. We had CEOs, we had attorneys, we had CPAs, we even had judges, we even had a couple of politicians in our group because we understood how to talk their language. So what I want you to do is get a pen and paper out and understand that if you just have one business owner or professional that you bring into this business, you've just potentially brought 50 more in just from their contacts. If that doesn't get you excited, nothing will. All right, I want to ask you a question. What do you say to a small business owner? That's a good question. Many times we get in these conversations with people that own businesses, and what do you say? How do you bring up even the possibility of network marketing being a secondary income source for them? How do you talk to them about your network marketing business without coming across as, well, let's just say a typical networker? One of the golden rules that you've got to understand, you must talk their language. Not only you must talk their language, but they must feel comfortable with you in a way that they feel comfortable with every other business owner. And see, this is one of the secrets to approaching business owners. Don't approach them as a network marketer. You heard me correctly. Don't approach them as a network marketer. Don't approach them with that mindset. Don't approach them with any type of focus. You approach them as a business owner yourself, because that's the only way that they're really going to feel that you're one of them. Because many times when you approach business owners, they don't feel that they're connecting to what you have to say, especially with a network marketer. Why? They come across as a network marketer. Business professionals have a whole different mindset. They have employees for the most part. They have profits and loss statements they have to look at. They got tax, they got Social Security, they have all the necessary pressures that most people don't have. And that is the reason that you must create the conversation that they feel comfortable with, and not as a network marketer, but purely as another business owner. Because if you think about it, that's what you are. You are CEO and president of your own distribution company. And you've chosen your company as for the products for that particular distribution entity. Well, see, that's the same thing that the other people have chosen. They've just chosen to start a company with different products, with different services. And your goal is to connect to them on their level. Because if you don't connect with them on their level, then they're going to look at you at less than what you really are and who you really are. I've been on appointments. I've been on appointments with people just coaching them on how to do this. And the most amazing thing happens is, like, when they get in front of business owners, they feel intimidated. And I understand. I was intimidated when I first started calling on business professionals myself. I didn't understand, though, that intimidation factor turned them off. They're looking for one thing. How can I move my business forward and make it more profitable? That's their main concern. How can I move my business forward and make it more profitable? Well, put yourself in their shoes. You're a business owner. How can you make your business more profitable? Well, there's only one of two ways, either reducing expenses or increasing cash flow. Well, obviously, reducing expenses is probably not that much of an option, because if you're a good business owner, you're going to have expenses down to where they need to be. So increasing cash flow, increasing business, that's what you want to talk about. And see, when you approach these business owners as an equal, when you approach these business owners as somebody that has not only their own business, but helps other business owners increase their own profitability, then it's a whole different arena. what we taught our distributors, move away from the network marketing mindset and start thinking consultant. Start thinking consultant. And I said, you literally are a business consultant that can help business professionals and business owners improve their bottom line with a whole new realm of products and services that they can interface in their business, or at least with their contacts. What's wrong with that? Think about it. If you were a business owner and somebody sat you down and talked with you and started talking about, hey, I'd like to increase your profitability, it's work with other businesses, and you won't have to change anything you're doing with your current business, suddenly at that particular point, you're going to listen. Well, see, that's how you approach business professionals. Approach them from the standpoint as an equal, as a business owner yourself. Approach them utilizing what language they want to talk about, but have a consultant mindset. Because we taught our distributors, you are a professional success consultant. That is what a network marketer really is. It's a professional success consultant. And you're a transformation specialist that wants to transform their business into a much more profitable status. And on this CD, you're going to learn some ways to talk with them, and also you're going to learn the secret, if you will, of keeping them in the business as well. Many business owners come and go, but how do you keep them in the business? There's one secret that really works. So understand this. Do not approach them as a network marketer. Approach them as a business owner yourself. That mentality, and approach them as a consultant, a professional success consultant that helps businesses become more successful and a whole lot more profitable. All right, let's move on this track. We're going to ask a question. What are business owners actually looking for? If you go to approach them, what are they looking for? They're looking for something that can help increase their profitability, increase their sales, or even increase the cash flow without changing really what they're doing. Now, on the last track, we learned that. Well, what is it that could do that? Obviously, it's network marketing. Because, see, we recruited hundreds of small business owners in our network marketing group when I was active, and all were pretty much recruited the same way. We stuck to the formula. We didn't try different things. Once we found some things that worked, then we tweaked them, we improved them, and then we mastered them. And see, that's why that you need to recruit business owners and professionals pretty much the same way, because not only will you learn to master it, but then you will become literally a professional at it yourself. We recruited the same way and with the same type of words and the same type of power phrases. You know, one Saturday we sat around and we said, okay, if we owned a major corporation, or if we owned a business maybe with 20 employees, let's take a look at what language we would use. And see, that's why that with that language, we tried to stay within two things. Number one, the language they felt comfortable with, and number two, their culture. See, there are two things that you must understand about recruiting business professionals into network marketing. Number one, they have their own culture. And you need to stay within that culture. Every business has a different culture, but you need to find out, number one, what is that culture? Is it a culture of friendliness and openness, or is it a tight culture where, unfortunately, the business owner is a little bit tyrannical? Or what type of culture? Is it a culture that employees love, or is it a culture that the business owner is open, keeps his door open, her door open? You need to find out what the culture is. And if you know anybody that works at that business, ask them, what kind of place is it to work for? You need to stay within that culture. They have a culture of professionalism for the most part and integrity. And that's one of the problems with network marketers. They don't approach business owners for network marketing as professionals. Guys, you are a professional success consultant when you approach business owners. You got to look professional, you got to sound professional, you've got to act professional. And see, I'm a former financial planner. I had a little bit of an understanding, but I still had a long ways to go in order to understand that if you get outside of the culture of professionalism, then they're going to look at you less than who you are. Number one, they have their own culture. Number two, they're used to a particular way of doing business and talking to business owners. They have their own verbiage. And what they expect, nothing less, is what they feel and what they hear and the conversations they hold with every other business professional. They get called on all the time. They get called on by other salespeople. And eventually, they're going to do business with some of those salespeople because either, number one, they have a business and product that's going to help their business, save them money, increase their productivity, or number two, they like the individual. You need to be both. You need to be the person that the business owner likes. And how do you do that? Talk about them. When you walk into a business owner's office, or you may meet them over coffee, but either way, when you walk into a business owner's office, talk about what's on her walls, W-A-L-L-S. Does she has pictures? Are there pictures of her kids? Are they pictures of him golfing? Just ask a few questions. That's a nice picture. Where was that taken? Or are those your kids? What are their names? This is going to draw them towards you because now what you're doing is you're creating a conversation with them that they can connect to. Because their language and their verbiage is two words, their world. You need to talk about their world, not yours. Because their world is what's important to them. Their world is what is the most focused thing in their mind, whether it's the profits for the company or whether it's their family, whether it's going next week on a golf trip. You need to focus in on their culture and you need to focus in on their world. Because the last thing you want to do is start immediately presenting, I've got the greatest business opportunity in the history of the world for you. That'll turn them off just like that. What you want to do is you want to stay in their world, understand their culture, and make sure that you come across as totally 100% professional in everything you do. All right, on those last tracks, we figured out, okay, this is sort of what the business owner's looking for. This is what the business owner would like to happen. This is where they want to focus. Most importantly, this is what interests them. Because again, business owners want to talk about their business, and the reason for that is because their business is an extension of who they are, with their personality, their work ethic. It is a reflection of their heart for the most part. And that's one of the things that I learned about business owners is their business is a reflection of their heart. And every business owner I had the privilege of chatting with, I always complimented them on their business because I was talking to their heart then, because it is an extension of their heart. Now here's a little tip or secret. Many people want to start off in the yellow pages, let's call every business in there. No, start with the business people you know. Start with the business people, the business owners that you know, because it works out and it's much more comfortable. Now, yes, you can co-market business owners and professionals, but I have found starting out doing this, that if you start talking to the people that literally you know that own a business, that are professional, maybe work for somebody, but are an executive in a corporation, then you're going to find out that they're going to be at least open to helping you. Because again, cold calling is not the easiest thing to do. So I would suggest that you start with at least business owners that you either know or do business with on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis, and then simply ask for their help. Now let's say that you're looking at the telephone. Now there's one of two ways that you can do this. You can either call them on the phone or you can go face to face. Now if you're doing business with a business owner, I would recommend face to face. Why? Because you've got the relationship with them and you may know them sort of, but it doesn't matter. You've got a relationship with them at least. And if it's a good friend or somebody that you really know, call them on the telephone. But the key thing here is to start with people that you know and then move into the colder arena with people that you don't know, you know, the business owners, because that's what I would do. I would go into a city and I would get out the yellow pages and I would start calling businesses. And I would start asking for the business owner, and then I would go into my particular verbiage. Well, one of the verbiages that we learned, one of the most powerful is secondary revenue source. Secondary revenue source. Because every business owner, whether it's somebody that you know or somebody that you don't know, is always potentially looking for some format of a secondary revenue source. And that is something that business owners understand from investments. Because investments are something that business owners do understand because they have them, and they also, if they have a fairly large company, might provide a 401k for their people. A secondary revenue source many times sings to the heart of business owners because many times it's something like, wait a minute, what you're telling me is that there's a potential secondary revenue source here and I don't have to change what I'm doing. Secondary revenue source also is a very strong phrase especially for people that are professionals. Many professionals and executives today, when you're talking with them, they want to know, how can I increase my income? How can I increase this? How can I increase that? When you say secondary revenue source, this is what I always ask them. Are you keeping your options open for secondary revenue sources? That's very simple. I'm just kind of curious, Tim, are you keeping your options open for a secondary revenue source? Or, Tim, do you know a professional? I'm just curious. You're a professional, you're a business owner. Do you know any professional out there that is looking for a secondary revenue source to increase their profits? See, this is a different type of way to approach people, a different type of way to talk to people, because secondary revenue source is a powerful phrase. Also, secondary revenue option. I'm just kind of curious, Tim, would you look at are you keeping your options open for a secondary revenue option? Secondary revenue option is a really strong phrase as well. And also, anytime that you start talking about a secondary income source, a secondary revenue source, or a secondary revenue stream, that's when it gets really fun, because their eyes light up many times. I remember talking to one oil gentleman. He owned an oil company. I'd say, something, I'd love to sit down sometime and talk to you about a secondary revenue stream that would be extremely profitable, and you wouldn't have to change really anything you're doing. He looked at me and smiled, and he says, well, you got my attention. Again, secondary revenue source or secondary revenue stream, secondary revenue option, these are powerful phrases that can help get the attention of business owners. And again, all you have to do is, just kind of curious, are you keeping your income options open? I'd love to sometimes show you a great secondary revenue source. That will get their attention. All right, one of the most powerful things that you can say to a professional, especially if you're just over coffee or you're just talking with her or him, I love this phrase. You know something, Tim, or you know something, Lisa? I'm introducing into the business community a new idea. I'm introducing into the business community a new idea. I'm introducing into the business community a new concept. Or I'm introducing into the business community a new concept of increasing profitability. Or I'm introducing into the business community a new idea about enlarging your business or about enlarging your profits. See, these are the types of phrases that business owners use. When I was working in the professional community, I did for, I guess, about 7 years, just talking with them about, network marketing. That's one of my most powerful phrases we used. You know something, Larry, I'm introducing into the business community an idea that literally has helped hundreds of businesses increase their profitability just from their contacts. Now, did you get what I just said? Increase the profitability just from their contacts. Because every business owner knows they have contacts. They have many, many, many different contacts, because most business owners have a network. We have found that when you show them that you're introducing into the business community how that they can turn their network to increase their net worth, they're going to talk to you. At least this is what I found to be true. Another way of saying it is, you know something, I'm sharing with the business community a new idea, a new concept about increasing their profitability from folks that they know. See, this is another way of saying the same thing, because again, it's the verbiage that people and business owners are used to. Because business community is a strong, strong psychological word that business owners can connect to. Because it didn't matter whether I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, or Denver, Colorado, or Seattle, Washington, I always used the word business community. Because I wanted them to understand that I was a professional, I understood the culture of the business community, and I was just trying to help them become more profitable as a professional success consultant. See, when you're introducing into the business community not only a new idea, but also a process, a way, if you will, that can help truly increase the profitability of their contact base, then it is amazing how many business owners will go, well, what is it? Another thing that I used to say is I've run across an idea that I'm sharing with the business community. Or, I'm really excited because I've run across an idea that increases profitability with business owners. Run across an idea is huge. Why? Because Forbes magazine did a study. And the number one word, the most powerful word from CEOs out of a list of over 50 words, the number one word they said was the most powerful word of the list was idea. And when you start talking about, I've run across an idea, then what you're going to find is you're going to find people not only that are willing to talk with you, not only that are willing to sit down and find out more about it, but now you've got your curiosity up. Because see, again, these are the types of phrases that sound professional, they image you professional, but more importantly, they paint pictures in people's minds, especially business owners. Another way of saying is, I run across an idea that literally has helped a lot of small companies increase their profitability dramatically. And I'd like to share this idea with you. Again, you're coming across non-threatening, you're coming across as simply friendly, and most importantly, no pressure. Because when you approach these people, you don't want to come across as pressureful or threatening or anything except you're there to share an idea with them. That's why that you're taking this idea that's helped other business owners, you're introducing it into their business community, and it's an idea that has proved extremely profitable. See, that's the kind of language that business owners understand. That's the kind of language that business owners use. And if you stick with that type of verbiage, if you stick with that kind of phraseology, if you stick with those power phrases, then introducing into the business community should be one of the bullets that you use every single time you talk with people, as well as I've run across an idea that's helped many businesses increase their profitability. Those are two very powerful phrases that you need to master, you need to learn, and you need to start utilizing when you talk to professionals and business owners. Okay, one of the most powerful phrases that you can use is what I call a connecting phrase. Connecting phrases are powerful in recruiting because we do a lot of different recruiting trainings, and one of the things we've always taught is recruiting magnetics. And what that is recruiting magnetics is something that actually we've trademarked that draws people toward you because they're so connected to what you're saying. And one of the most powerful phraseologies for corporate recruiting, for recruiting business professionals, is I am a small business owner like you. I am a small business owner like you. This is one of the most magnetic things you can say, because this is what I used to want to talk to them about, is I wanted them to perceive that I was on their level. Why? I did not look at myself as a network marketer. I did not look at myself as a multi-level marketer. I did not look at myself as anything like that. When I was talking with business owners and even people just across their kitchen table or over the phone, I was a professional success consultant and a transformation specialist. I wanted to introduce the idea of success into their life in a way they've never known before and transform their lives and business as far as profitability and as far as possibilities. And when I talk with business owners, I wanted them to understand how I perceive myself and how I wanted them to perceive me. And when I said I'm a small business owner just like you, I understand where you're coming from. I have an idea of what you go through on a daily basis. That totally attracts them, it totally magnetizes and connects them. One of the people I was talking with, and one of the most powerful individuals in our group, she owned a chain of about 28 Domino retail stores, Domino pizzas. And I sat across from her over coffee, and this was in Denver, and I said, you know something, I'm a small business owner just like you. I understand what you're going through because it's all about profitability. It's all about reducing expenses, putting out a good quality product, but it's also a lot about increasing the ability to earn profits. Is that not true? And she said, absolutely. I said, I also, being a small business owner, understand that many times there are special pressures that business owners have, that you have, I have, that many just employees never know about, they never experience. And she said, that is so true. What I was doing is I was saying, look, and I did not say this, but she understood, I'm like you. I am where you are. Maybe not on that level yet, because I had not hit it huge yet. But I told her I understood where you are because I am a business owner too. I remember telling her, I said, you know something, the one thing I can relate to more than you know is I want to build my business. You've got 28 stores. I want to be in all 50 states. And the key thing here is understanding you already have those contacts that literally, with just a little effort on my part could prove to be a tremendous secondary revenue source for you. And suddenly her eyes lit up and she said, keep talking. I'm a small business owner like you also shows that you respect who they are. Not only respect them, but elevate them. Because now you understand that they're a professional. And this is another thing you can use. I'm a professional business owner just like you. Some people like the word professional better than business owner, and that's fine, whatever you want to use. I used both. I'm a professional just like you. I'm a professional business owner just like you. Or I'm a professional entrepreneur just like you. What you want to do is you want to get them to understand, bingo, you and I are a lot alike. I want to talk with you on your terms, on your level, with your language, and I want to show you how that this idea possibly might enlarge dramatically your profitability on the contacts that you have. Key phrase, the contacts that you have. Because guys, that's where the real gold mine is their professional contacts. It's not necessarily their customers, not necessarily their friends. Well, yeah, friends, okay, I'll give you that one. But it's their professional contacts. Because that is where the gold mine lies in recruiting business professionals. I'm a small business owner just like you. I'm an entrepreneur like you. I'm a business professional just like you. I understand where you walk. I understand the pressures that you're under. I understand what you face on a daily basis because I'm right there with you. This is the type of verbiage that's going to attract business owners to talk further. Because now you're starting to say, I'm there with you, I understand, I'm one of you, and they're going to feel a whole lot more comfortable talking to you about network marketing utilizing this type of phraseology than any other kind. When I used to call on business owners, one of the most powerful things I used to do, and again, I learned it actually as a financial planner, is a phrase, it's a softening phrase. We teach what you call softening phrases because everything that you do, you want to remember the rule of NPAA. What is that? Well, just like NCAA, it's NPAA. No pressure at all. And see, that's what a softening phrase does. It helps reduce not only any format or feeling of pressure, but it gets rid of it, period. NPAA, no pressure at all. Because the moment you start pressuring business owners, you're done. It's over. And one of the most powerful phrases we use is, I'm not sure whether this would be an exact fit for you in your business or not. I don't know. Or I'm not sure whether this would be a right for your business. I'm not sure. Or I'm not sure whether this would be something that would be totally interface well with your business. It's something that we'll just have to see. Or, you know something? I'd love to see and get your input about this business idea because I'm not sure whether it would be right for you. But I know one thing, you'd learn something. Did you get that? Every business owner likes to learn something. And that's one of the things that, another way to say, as a matter of fact, is, well, the worst that could happen is you could learn something. All these types of phrases business owners understand. When I said, you know something, I just need your input on this business idea, or I need your input on this new idea of profitability, or I would love to get your insight and experience coming from your very professional business, very successful business owner. I would love to get your insight on this new idea that helps businesses become more profitable. Now, I'm not sure whether it's right for you or not, but hey, the worst that could happen is you could learn something. These are the types of phrases that draw people toward you. I need your input. I need your insight. Another phraseology when we were recruiting business professionals is, you know something, Lisa, you have a lot of experience in the business world. You've had your business now for about 15 years. I really could use some insight with that experience to take a look at this and see if this might be something that could prove to be a secondary revenue source for you. That is the type of verbiage that's going to get them excited. Again, most people, many network marketers say, I have a business opportunity here that I believe you would be perfect for. Wrong. You know, the business owner is going to throw up red flags, say, get out of my office. You need to talk their language. I would love for you to share your insight with me, and I'd love for you to share your input about a business concept that's proved to be really profitable. Now, I'm not sure whether it'd be right for you, but at the same time, the worst that could happen is you could learn something. what I'm doing on this track is I'm going over many different ways to say the same thing, and you need to write them down and master what you feel is most comfortable for you. Because all of these particular business phrases work. Not only do they work, but they work phenomenally. Another way to say it, I need your input or insight, is I would love for you to share an experienced opinion on this particular business concept. Experienced opinion or experienced input or experienced insight complements them because they do have a lot of experience. And again, another phrase that would go well with it, I'd love to get your insight on this because it's an idea that's proven to dramatically increase revenue streams for businesses, especially with your contacts. Now see guys, all you're doing here is you're talking about an idea and getting their input in it. And when you say, I'm not sure whether this would be right for you, I don't know, but the worst that could happen is you could learn something, then what that means is Lisa's going to sit behind her desk or sit there drinking her cup of coffee or tea and is going to think to herself, well, let me take a look at it. Let me see if this is something that might interface with my business and possibly might increase my profitability, and then we'll go from there. That's what she's thinking. The key thing here is when you're talking about increasing your revenue stream, or I need your input, or secondary profitability, all of these types of phrases go hand in hand with how business owners and professionals talk. And by the way, most business owners and professionals love to give their input. They love to give their opinion on things. And it doesn't matter whether they're negative about it. Only thing you want to do is create a conversation with them, connect with them, get their input, and then take it from there. Because when you ask for their input and insight, talk about increasing a secondary revenue stream or increasing profitability, or I'd love simply to see if this would be something that would be right for you, I'm not sure, that is going to get their attention. Okay, another phrase that we're going to go over, and this is a phrase that I love. It's a phrase that works so well for us. It's called expand your potential market base. Expand your potential market base. What is that? Well, many people are looking to expand their base of business. That's what business owners focus on. They want to expand their base of business. They want to expand their profitability. They want to expand their customer base. Well, now you're talking about expanding your potential market base. And you're going to do that through other contacts that they have as well as their professional contacts. Because one of the conversations I had with another young lady that had a chain of retail stores is I said, you have a market base that's very lucrative. She said, yes, I do. I said, how would you like to expand your potential market base to where literally you could have a secondary revenue source that could rival your first one? She kind of smiled and she says, you've got my attention. The key phrase here is potential market base, and that's where their contacts are. That's where their contacts lie. That's what their contacts bring to the table. A potential market base that could prove to be lucrative for any business professional. And also another way of saying it is, well, what we'd like to do is expand your potential marketability. What does that mean? Well, what they have marketing, their products and services, maybe there's some people that, well, for whatever reason, they don't like them or they just don't buy them. But what if you had some other things potentially that could expand your marketability of what you're doing? Another way of saying it is, I'd love to enlarge your potential market base and go beyond where you are. Enlarge your potential market base and go beyond where you are. This is another way of stating to a business owner that they can take their potential contacts and literally turn them into a gold mine. Another phraseology we use is increase market value of your contacts. Not only expanding your potential market base, but I'd love to increase the market value of your contacts. Now that gets their attention. Go, what? See, I used to ask a question all the time. I would say, Lisa, let me ask you a question. Do you have a Rolodex? And most people would say, well, yeah. They either have a Palm Pilot or a Rolodex or something. And I'd say, what percentage of that Rolodex is producing you any type of consistent revenue stream? And most of them would smile and say, well, maybe 2%, not much. Most I think I ever heard was like 10%. But the average was 2 to 3%. And I'd say, well, if I could show you a way to take that from 2% to 20%, is that something that you want to know about? And invariably, they'd all say yes. And that's how we recruited attorneys. That's how we recruited CPAs. We recruited CFPs. We recruited literally judges, because we talked about increasing the market value of their contacts. And how did we do it? Do you have a Rolodex? Well, absolutely. What percentage of that Rolodex is currently producing you any type of revenue stream? And they laugh and they say 2% maybe. If I could show you a way to take it to 20%, is that something you want to know about? Increasing the market value of their contacts is a real service that you can bring to any company. Because as I told you, they have contacts locally, statewide, and nationally that's producing them zero revenue source. But if you can increase the market value of their contacts, what happens then is their contacts take on a whole different meaning. Not only in the Rolodex, not only in their professional view, but also every other person they know. That's how I got, again, a gentleman named Jerry, who owned a chain of lube oil stations that you go in and get your oil changed. And I said, Jerry, what I'd like to do is increase the market value of your contacts, because I know that you have a lot of contacts that are not producing you any revenues. And he kind of smiled and he says, yeah, thousands. I said, I'd love to show you how to increase their profitability to you. And it's done in a very simple way. And he kind of smiled and he says, well, I'm all ears. So again, you want to expand their potential market base and increase the market value of their contacts. Because again, if you show them how to expand or enlarge the potential market base that they have as far as any type of revenue source with their current contacts or their current customers, then what you're going to do is you're going to help show them how to become more profitable with what they're currently doing. But if you say, I would like to increase the market value of their contacts, because the majority of business owners I have found have contacts that's producing them zero revenues, they all laugh because they understand that is so right on. I'm not sure whether this would be something that would be right for you, but I'd love to share it with you because it's helped a lot of business owners dramatically increase their profitability. That is the type of language, those are the types of power phrases that get professional and business owners' attention. On this track, what I want to do is I want to talk with you about talking with people about your business, or at least opening the door to it, who you don't know. You may know a lot of folks and a lot of business owners, but one of the things that I used to do is I used to talk with people that I had no clue of what they did right off the street. I would call on the gatekeeper, I'd call on the business owner or the business manager. And the reason for this is I knew that they had contacts that I didn't have, and I was really wanting them to open those doors. Now, we've gone through a lot of verbiage. We've gone through probably at least 50 different ways to approach, 50 different phrases to approach business owners. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you, this is a way that we approached thousands in our organization, thousands of just businesses that we didn't know who owned them or anything. We would go in and I would knock on the door or walk in or whatever and see the gatekeeper and say, well, man, my name's Dr. Firebaugh and maybe you can help me. Now watch this next phrase. And by the way, maybe you can help me as a psychological trigger that most people will go, well, I'll see what I can do. I am new in the business community and introducing myself. I am new in the business community and introducing myself. Now what this does, this to some degree, the person on the other side of the window or whatever says, well, good. Like they're thinking, well, the person's new in the business community, so they're simply introducing myself. It's like all I want to do is introduce who I am to you and get to know, and just get to know who's in the business community. And that's some of the times that's what I would say. You know something, I am new in the business community and I'm simply introducing myself to get to know others. And most of the time that brought a very positive result. And then I would say, what I do is I have an idea that I'll help business owners with that help increase their revenue streams. I have an idea that I'd like to run past your manager or the owner to increase their revenue streams. Now, what happens if you make a phone call, and you get the business owner, and because many times I would call a company and say, my name's Dr. Firebaugh. I was wondering, who is the business owner, please? Well, her name is Lisa Strout. Thank you so much. A day or two later, I would call back and say, is Lisa Strout in, please? Yes, may I tell her who's calling? Yes, Doug Firebaugh. Thank you. And what this does, suddenly it gives you a sense of authority, but it also a sense of focus. And when Lisa answers the phone, I say, Lisa, my name is Doug Firebaugh, and you don't know me. but I'm new in the business community and I'm simply introducing myself to business owners like yourself. And I was just wondering do you have just 1 second? And most of the time they'd say, well, yeah, what do you want? Well, I have an idea that I've been sharing with business owners that increase revenue streams pretty dramatically. And I was just wondering if I could drop by your office for about 5 minutes, because that's all it would take, maybe the next couple of days, and just share it with you. And then you can take a look at it and decide whether it'd be right for you or your business. Would that be okay? Could I do that? Again, what this does, it opens up new doors. Now, is every business owner going to be open to it? No. Many times they say, I'm not interested, and click. But just because they said, I'm not interested, and hang up on you, doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. All it means is it wasn't for them. It wasn't the right timing for them to look at secondary revenue options. But when you start talking about two business owners, in particularly, let's say that you go to a chamber of commerce, and let's say that you start meeting business owners and you start shaking their hands and you start talking about them, and they say, well, what do you do? My standard answer when I would go to chamber of commerce meetings of cities that were trying to open up, I'm new in the business community and I'm simply introducing myself tonight to folks. Because I have an idea that literally increases revenues dramatically, at least it has for a lot of other small business owners, and I don't know whether it'd be right for you or not, but I'd love to share it with you sometime. And most of the time they say, well, sure. I say, do you have a card? They give me a card, and I would have a card that only would say is Doug Firebaugh, CEO, and then it would have the name of the company as far as my company, because I wanted them to understand I was a small business owner too. So if you want to start talking to people that you don't know, which again can be a little bit difficult at times, I am new in the business community. I'm simply introducing myself to small business owners like you. I want to get to know who's in the community. And I have an idea that I kind of share with business owners that have proven to increase profitability dramatically. I'd love to share it with you sometime if you got 2 minutes. If you do that, then you will be kind of surprised, dramatically surprised, I believe, in how many people will say, well, sure, when do you want to drop by? Because it happened to me hundreds and hundreds of times. All right, on this track, we're going to go over two words that are very important. Two words that have proven to be extremely magnetic to business owners. I mean, we've gone through a lot on this CD. We've gone through not only what business owners are looking for and the two things you got to understand as far as, they have their own culture and they're used to particular language and verbiage, and you start in their world. We've also learned phrases like secondary revenue source, introducing into the business community. I've run across an idea. I'm a small business owner just like you. I need your input or insight. Increase your revenue stream. Expand your potential market base. Increase the market value of your contacts. I am new in the business community and simply introducing myself. I have an idea that I'd like to run past you on how to increase your revenues. We also talked about how to talk to somebody about their Rolodex, and also the rule of NPAA, no pressure at all. And we've gone through right now over 40 different power phrases and verbiage that can help you recruit professionals. But there's two words that are very powerful to business professionals I want to teach you right now. It's called revenue option. Revenue option. Because I've found that many business owners are always looking to increase their revenues. You know that? I know that. And this is simply a revenue option that a lot of business owners are picking up on. And that is what I used to tell small business owners and professionals. This is a revenue option that I've known a lot of professionals like yourself to engage because it was so profitable. This is a revenue option that I have seen a lot of business professionals like yourself engage because it's so highly profitable. See, this is a powerful way to talk to professionals, even if there's executives in corporations. And by the way, we're going to have another CD it's going to be the Passion Fire Single Series on the secrets of recruiting executives from companies. Otherwise, how do you talk to corporate officers? How do you talk to executives? And a little bit different, believe it or not, than business owners, because business owners, they run a business. Executives have a little bit different focus, but it's going to be something that's going to help you to recruit executives in a format maybe that you've never thought before. Revenue option is one of those words that executives and business owners love, because it goes to show them that it is an option for bigger revenues, an option for expanded revenues, an option for enlarged revenues, or an option for multiplied revenues. Multiplied revenues is a very powerful way of talking about money, because I used to ask them, and during conversations, I say, what do you think is more powerful? Creating revenue options that add $1 at a time, or creating revenue options that multiply dozens at a time? And all of them would say, well, obviously multiplying. When you multiply revenues, that is another powerful phrase, another powerful way of keeping the person engaged totally in your conversation, because they understand about leveraged revenues. See, in the stock market and in investments, they understand the power of leveraging money. What you're talking about is leveraging contacts, leveraging time and effort to produce a new revenue stream. And that is why that when you talk with people about this, when you sit down and talk to people about it, use revenue options and leveraged income, another powerful phrase. It is leveraged income. It is income that's leveraging your contacts and their contacts and other people's time and effort in order to create a revenue stream that could be significant. Revenue option, multiplied revenues, leveraged income, leveraged revenues, all those are very powerful phraseologies. And I'm going to teach you one more. It's called Market Expansion Tool. Market Expansion Tool. I used to sit down and talk to business professionals and say, this is a great market expansion tool. It will increase your profitability and expand it in the market. It will also increase your own marketability. A market expansion tool is something that people understand, because they know that it's going to expand their base of profitability in the marketplace. But see, there's two markets. There's their current market, and then the market of their contacts. It's their current customer market, but also the current market of their contacts. And your job is simple. It's simply to create that new focus about increasing the revenue options and increasing the profitability of that secondary market, which is the current contact base that is producing them no revenue streams at all. And any business owner will at least want to consider that idea. What we're going to do here is we're going to focus in now on another phrase that really worked well. It's an idea, not only that, a phrase that, well, I didn't come up with. You know, what we did as a team, a lot of times we would sit around in meetings and things and say, okay, what about this phrase? What about that phrase? We would take these phrases and remold them, retweak them, and get them right. And there may be some phrases in your local marketplace that you've heard that work. As a matter of fact, I would say that you could take some of these phrases, because there's over 50 of them on the CD, and come up with your own, because that's what you want to do. You want to create an ownership in what you're doing so that it will be more powerful. And this phrase is very simple. I've discovered an idea that has a dramatic impact on the bottom line. I've discovered an idea that literally has changed a lot of small business owners' bottom line. Or, you know something, I have an idea that not only has a dramatic impact on the bottom line, but revenues as well. This is something that a lot of business owners, their ears are going to tweak and are going to, huh? What? It's an idea that has an impact on a small business owner's bottom line. And another way we used to say it is there's only two ways to increase your revenues. You know that and I know that. Either reduce your expenses or increase cash flow. And this is an idea that can dramatically increase cash flow from a market base maybe you've never tapped in before. Did you get that? A market base maybe you've never tapped in before, which is their contacts. Now, another way to say this is a value-based idea that can dramatically improve revenues. These are the types of phrases that are going to touch people in a way that maybe they've never heard before. Another thing that you can say is not only it's a value-based idea that can dramatically improve revenues, but value-based idea carries with it a real focus that many people, for whatever reason, seem to like. A value-based idea is one that, as a matter of fact, you can see that phrase in many different magazines, business articles. You can see it in Money Magazine. You can see it in Forbes and Fortune. People understand about a value-based idea. It is an idea that is soaked with value. Well, when you say a value-based idea that can improve revenues or can improve your bottom line or can improve profitability or multiply profits, remember, multiplying profits, multiplying money, all those types of phraseologies are going to get the person's attention. These are the types of phrases that people are going to love. So again, it's an idea that has an impact on the bottom line. It's a value-based idea that can improve revenues. But also, here's another one, from one professional to another. From one professional to another. I would like to talk with you from one professional to another about possibly increasing your bottom line. Or I'd like to talk with you from one professional about another about dramatically increasing the leveraging of your income, or dramatically increasing the market value of your contacts, or dramatically increasing the market value of who you know. This is how you say these things. Now understand this, from one professional to another connects them to you immediately. Why? Because now you're on their level and you're talking their language. They like professionalism. They love the fact that you're focusing in on professionalism, and they're also like the idea talking from one professional to another, from one president of a corporation to another, from one executive to another. Because guys, if you own your own business, understand, even though you say, well, I'm just a network marketer. No, you're not. You are an executive in your own distribution company. Understand that. You are an executive in your own distribution company. And if you understand, got that, then the most amazing things will start happening to your mind and to the presence that you have with people. Because when you start seeing yourself as a professional, as an executive, as a professional success consultant, as a transformation specialist, all these types of things are going to be kind of making you smile, because you're going to start feeling better about yourself. If you call on business professionals and business owners, you cannot look at yourself as a network marketer. You must look at yourself as an executive, as a professional, as a business owner, and on their level as well. Because if you do, you're going to find that using phrases like an idea that has impact on the bottom line, a value-based idea that can improve revenues, you know something, I love to talk with you from one professional to another. These are the types of phrases that are going to be magnetic to business owners and professionals because they're used to hearing them. All right, we've come to the last track on this particular training CD, and I want to thank you, as a matter of fact, because I've really enjoyed it. But we've gone through a lot of different phrases and power phrases and kickstart phrases and ways to connect to business owners. I mean, it's been a lot. Over 50 different phrases and power phrases and verbiage that you can utilize. Over 50 ways to do that on this one CD. What I want to talk to you now is about the reality of it. You know, these work very well. All of them work if you use them, as they have the terminology that, well, a lot of business professionals can relate to. And that's key, because you've got to be able to talk in a way that they can relate to it. I would encourage you to come up with some of your own. I would encourage you to take a look at some of these and say, well, what if you added this word, or what if you changed this word? But make sure that they're all non-network marketing language, because again, recruiting business professionals is about non-network marketing language. You don't want to trick them, but what you do want to use is you want to use introductory phrases that they can relate to get their attention. Because if you don't get their attention, they'll never talk with you. You can eventually use some network marketing language as they progress, like downline or upline. But guys, keep it focused on business language, because what you want to do is you want them to understand this is a business, it's a distribution business, and what we're going to do is we're going to take their business contacts and create a customer base that will leverage their time and effort dramatically. And yes, you may get some questions, and yes, you may get some objections, and yes, you may get some negative responses, but guess what? That's all part of business. If you get some negative responses, guess what? That's all part of you learning how to do it. Because you cannot learn on one CD everything you need to know. That can only come from experience. But if somebody gives you a negative response like, well, this is not anything I'd be interested in, I'm much too busy, understand you don't want to pressure them. Just smile and say, I really appreciate your honesty. but maybe you can still help me because I would love to be in your situation one day. Maybe you can help me. I would love to be in your position one day. Do you know anyone that this would be more appropriate for? Just understand that small business owners have a business to run, and many will make great customers. Even if for whatever reason they're not interested in the profitability of network marketing for their business, they'll make great customers. Don't walk away from that. All it takes is one small business professional to explode your business. That's all it took for us. We had one small business professional that got it, that connected it, that said, you know something, this would be perfect for what I'm doing. 3 years later, 3.5 years later, had over 400 business owners in that leg. All you need is one. One business owner brought in over 500 people in less than a year in our group. Now, don't get me wrong. He didn't bring them at all. He brought in about 10 people who then went out and worked because they understood how to network. Because business owners understand the fine art of networking. And then they went ahead together and built a group that was in all 50 states and eventually had over 8,000 people in that group. And it all started with one business owner. Light went on. Man, this could improve my revenues dramatically. See, small business owners can be an absolute gold mine, but you have to do some digging in your business. You have to do some digging in their business and see if it's a fit. Because if it isn't a fit, don't worry about it. All you have to understand, your job is simply to approach them, expose what you do, and then let them make the decision. Approach them, expose what you do, and then let them make the decision. But one thing you'll have is a leg up on every other network marketer, because now you'll be using verbiage and language that makes you sound professional. You come across as professional. You come across in the language that they're used to hearing, and you're coming across in a way and manner that they can totally connect to. And if you do that, then you will get your share of business owners in your group. I want to thank you. This is Doug Firebaugh from Passion Fire International, and this is another targeted training series from Passion Fire Singles. I really am humbled and honored that you would allow me to become just a small part of your business, and I tried my best to pour into you and teach you what worked for us, because it worked like crazy. Thank you, and God bless you.